Hi, welcome back to the third part of Chapter 13 of Deadly Affirmations. I've been taking a little bit of time off, but Patience Murphy has been busy, as you'll see. So if you're all ready, get comfy, and we'll get on with this. Here we go. Patience dressed comfortably in jeans, a red Pantera El Paso t-shirt, black chucks, and a black t-shirt weight hoodie. She got into her car, stashed the vape in the glove compartment, and headed to the fest. River City held its fest in the park in front of the terminal every year. There was never enough parking, and Patience had to find a spot in the remote lot. It was only noon, and the fest was already packed. Gerald probably wasn't about to leave his car, and he had blasted past her house that morning, headed in the direction of the fest, so he had most likely secured a good parking space in the main lot. Patience took the vape out of the glove compartment, laid it on the roof of the car, slipped on her hoodie, and put the vape into the hoodie's pocket, locked her car, and went looking for Gerald. He wasn't hard to find. Patience had only to follow the tremors when she got to the main lot. Gerald was leaning against his car, his eyes shut in contemplation, or maybe just because he was already wasted. The hatch was open and the jams thundered forth. "Hey, Gerald, sup?" she said, purposely swinging her hips, knowing that he would notice as she walked toward him. "Sup, Patty?" Gerald was so happy to see her that he wiggled like a little puppy. She could see the little wheels turning in his little brain as he considered how best to get her to fuck him. He settled on impressing her. "Yo," Gerald coolly began, "I jacked these tools. Yes, y'all. I got some mad skills, and these tools gonna bring some big skrilla. Recognize?" Patience knew that a little intake of breath, a marveling half smile, and a slight widening of her eyes would let him know that she would soon be his. So she gave him the response he was hoping for, just to make sure that Gerald got it. Patience made a point to lick her lips with just a tantalizing tip of her tongue, move slightly closer to him, and flip her hair. Gerald got the hint and continued, letting her know that to get some of this, she had to act soon. "I got ends. I'm stacking chips, but I got a ghost, got a jet. This RC is totally whack." And then he opened the back door of the little car and showed her his take. Patience was impressed. Not that Gerald was a petty thief, but that he had unknowingly grabbed some truly fine tools. Actually, one tool with the accessories in a case, a rechargeable cordless 20-volt DeWalt nail gun, fast and precise, capable of punching 800 2-inch nails into baseboards, moldings, or trim on one charge, with an integrated work light and LED diagnostics. It was indeed sweet. Now it was Patience's turn in the seduction. "Slammin', G! Hey, I brought that little something I told you about yesterday," she told him as she pulled the vape from the pocket of her hoodie. Ever the gentleman, Gerald offered her the first hit on her stash. "Nah, you first. It's my thank you present to you. But turn off the jams for now. I want to be wasted when that bass drops, not mean?" Gerald was pretty sure that Patience was talking about something very different than what Patience was actually thinking about. He walked to the back of his car and turned off the system, and then came back to join Patience at the driver's door. She handed him the vape and whispered, "Hit it, baby." Gerald did just as he was told, closed his eyes in anticipation of the rush, and looked confused, but only for a second or two. Then the first tremor hit him, the mercury, followed by a convulsion that just about knocked Gerald off his feet, the chlordane, and then a headache, both. "God damn, my head," Gerald moaned just before both chemicals caused a general weakness that dropped Gerald to the ground, where he promptly pissed his pants. "Killer shit, huh, Gerald?" Patience whispered to him with a smirk. "Hey, let me help you sit down." And she lifted him up to sit him in his car, having put his legs in one at a time after she had gotten him situated in the driver's seat. She closed the door as Gerald's head fell softly forward. "A coma already? Excellent." Grabbed the stolen tools out of the back seat, re-stole them, closed the hatch, and picked up the little vape off the ground where Gerald had let it fall, as his legs had given out before she walked away. Patience opened the door of the first porta potty she saw, lifting the tool case in with her. Inside, she dropped the vape down the hole into the chemicals, urine and shit, and stripped off her hoodie, tying the hoodie around her shoulders like an old-school preppy. When she came out of the porta-john, she headed for her car and put the tool case into the trunk. Then she walked back to the fest, ready for some fun. Patience was walking through the kids' crafts section. 2 tents full of everything from popsicle stick sculptures to brightly painted origami animals, some by themselves and others made into earrings and necklaces, to sequined and cotton ball adorned cheap sunglasses, to all sorts of other things made of styrofoam and cardboard and egg cartons and felt and pipe cleaners and feathers and paper cups and plates and duct tape and leaves and sticks for the eco-conscious sons and daughters of River City. Cute as hell, Patience thought, when she saw Wheezy ahead of her, bargaining with a little boy in a Batman t-shirt and Transformers jammy bottoms over his best-selling price for a Play-Doh pencil holder he had fashioned. $1, the little capitalist said. I'll give you 4 quarters, Wheezy countered. $1, the boy insisted. Okay, Wheezy said quietly, looking from side to side. I'll give you 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and a nickel. Deal, the tyke said, taking her money, handing her the pencil holder, and then shaking her hand in the transaction. Patience had walked up behind Wheezy in time to hear all the details of the deal, and when the dealing was done, she softly laid her hand on Wheezy's shoulder and said, Wheezy, you old swindler, before giving her friend a kiss on her cheek. Patty, Wheezy said, delighted to see your friend. Are you ready for some serious festing? Yes, ma'am, Patience told her, but I'm starved, and if we're going to sample the alcoholic crafts, I'm going to need something in my stomach. Barbecue or funnel cakes to start, Wheezy asked. Yes, Patience said. They walked past stands offering fried dough, corn on the cob, grilled with peppers, lime, and cheese, chocolate-covered bacon on a stick. They shared just a little one. Caramel apples, deep-fried tequila shots, angel food cakes soaked in tequila and fried like a boozy hors d'oeuvre before the real alcohol. Turkey legs, deep-fried spaghetti and meatballs, pies, berry, apple, pecan, chocolate meringue, frozen bananas on sticks with chocolate and nuts and bacon, cheese curds, fried mac and cheese, fried pickles, fried Twinkies, funnel cakes, corn dogs, Kool-Aid pickles, peanuts, boiled or roasted, pork rinds, kettle corn, cotton candy, onion rings, sausages, Dippin' Dots, ice cream, gelato, sherbets, shaved ice, pizza, cookies, falafel, cupcakes, smoothies, churros, lemonade, tacos, ceviche, tater tots, s'mores. I think we're ready for some liquid refreshment, Patty, Wheezy burped. Patience laughed. I think we are, Wheezy. I think we are. The two altered their course for the beverage tents. Local brewers and distillers and distributors gave away little plastic tastes of their wares to the fest-goers, ready to sell them a bottle or a case of their alcoholic creations. There was a beer tent, stouts and ales and weisses, and even a Belgian wit. Patience really liked a roasted Serrano IPA and drank 3 little plastic glasses full, the brewer laughing and shoving them one after another into her hand. There was a wine tent, plum and sloe and dandelion and rosehip and cherry and grape. There was a cider tent, still and sparkling, dry to sweet, with a little trio of local mead makers stuck over in the corner. And since this was River City, a shine tent. Every kind of corn liquor one could want, from pumpkin pie to strawberry to lemon to blueberry moonshine popsicles. And even a mean old man over by himself selling the whiskey he and his family had been making from corn since sometime in the 1700s. Wheezy and Patience left the last tent, holding on to each other and giggling. They walked slowly around the fest and found themselves back in the food section. Luckily for them, they found themselves standing in front of a little stand just at the edge of the fest that offered egg, cheese, and chorizo burritos. Protein, carbs, and fat, Wheezy opined. Just the thing. Ma'am, the man in the stand said, that may be well and good, but I think you ladies might be better served with some pozole. Pozole? Patience asked. An ancient stew of hominy, pork, cabbage, chili peppers, onions, garlic, radishes, avocado, and cilantro with a squeeze of lime. It has helped millions of our drunken neighbors to the south for hundreds of years get through the night and avoid a hangover. You'll love it, he said. I suppose millions of drunken Mexicans can't be wrong, she said. The man handed the 2 women bowls of the steaming stew, each bowl covered with a couple of corn tortillas. Si claro que si, he said. After the pozole, the 2 women kissed each other on the cheek and said their goodbyes. Patience told Wheezy that she had some errands to run, and Wheezy made her own excuses. They agreed to meet later in the week for some coffee. Patience stopped by the dump again on the way home. She backed up to the big dumpster, opened her trunk, and dropped the bag of chlordane into the compactor first, since the operator was crushing the garbage. She walked across the parking lot to the cardboard-only compactor, took off her hoodie and tossed it in, and then walked back to her car, taking the black plastic garbage bag out of her trunk and waiting for the crusher to finish its cycle before tossing the bag with the broken thermometer in. Her chores finished for the day, she drove home, enjoying the buzz from the liquor she had sampled. The sun was setting, and Abraxas was pissed that Patience had been gone the whole day on a weekend. So she made him dinner, looked to see what was available on cable, and rolled herself a little pinner just in case. She fell asleep on the couch. When she woke up at 3 in the morning, some wrestlers were throwing chairs at one another on the TV, so she turned off the set and went to bed.